I think we all know that a misinput or a spacing mistake or an overextension usually means that you will eat a punish if the opponent is ready. Some characters punish these mistakes a bit harder than others, such as Luigi, Kazuya, Steve, or Sora, our classic Zero to Death characters. But today, along with those characters, I want to talk about characters that I feel like lack the tools to create good scenarios for themselves and rely more on the opponent's lack of knowledge of how the character works. So we all know the classic weaknesses of the Zero to Death characters. Usually they lack in mobility, they're not great at holding advantage if they mess up the combo, and they usually struggle to get back to the stage if they get hit themselves. Recently, however, these characters have been doing well, especially Luigi. I think it is because Luigi has great ledge trapping, so he doesn't struggle to hold advantage, but actually running to the corner versus Luigi is a much worse idea compared to a character like Kazuya, who cannot consistently pressure you being there without making a call out. In my opinion, Luigi, Kazuya, and to a longer extent characters like Falco and the heavies usually don't win if the opponent plays well around them. They have limited options to adapt, and they can be moved around on very well, so they have to be fine with getting smaller hits or they will be punished for fishing for their great reward. Zoma vs Luigi at Smashborg is a great example on how to invalidate Luigi. You dodge the big opener and hold advantage, or just kill him when you get your own. In today's meta, you cannot beat these characters consistently without being precise and also exploding them yourself. Running away forever puts you into the corner where you can still explode or get put to a ledge, which isn't optimal. Another reason why I think these characters thrive in bracket is because we're human. It takes stamina and precise gameplay and sometimes the correct matchup to do well versus these characters. One mistake and you are dead is a brutal fact to waste versus these characters, so your mental has to be on point. That's why they are still potent characters in the meta today. So now that we have established what makes the extreme characters good and why they thrive, we can start talking about characters that also rely on mistakes to win, but aren't as blatant about it. First, I want to talk about Snake. We all know that Snake's kit is insanely versatile, and his tools to cover the whole stage with explosives are kinda insane. But I do think he relies more on the opponent's mistakes to win than to create good situations himself and win through that. He lacks the mobility to move forward as well as someone like Joker. He has amazing frame data and range, but his end lag on normals is usually decently big, which is a big weakness since it means he can be baited and punished. Because of these things, there's a lot of potential for faster characters to overwhelm him with movement, awkward positioning, taking grenades from him and pressuring him. Slower characters with less mobility do not have that privilege, which is why it's way harder to beat Snake with Peach compared to something like Sonic. Grenades, for example, in the end, are a big execution check. Regardless of the situation, there is always a reactive play that you can make. You can space around it and attack Snake, move around the explosion, or catch a grenade yourself and toss it back to Snake. This forces Snake to make more callouts by either stopping camping or dash attacking, something which is fine for the opponent. This is something that you need extensive studying and knowledge of. It has to become second nature. Knowing how long a grenade has cooked for is a big difference between eating a singular nade or a big combo from Snake. Something that makes Hurt so good is that the way you have to play against these grenades forces more active play from the start. If you let him set up his grenades and control the pace and mix up between cooked and not cooked grenades, he will just control the match and you will be on the defensive way more. Something that Snake wants. But if you move forward and force more callouts, Snake has to make big reads or rely on your mistakes to swing the match back. If neither happens, Snake might be forced to take only little hits, like an occasional dash attack, something that is completely fine to get hit by if you are not cornered yourself. Mitigating Snake this way makes him way worse. If you only get hit by a down tilt or dash attack, compared to nade into the dash attack, which hurts a lot more. I believe this is something Spargo got so much better at against Hurt. If you watch their recent sets, Spargo rarely gets hit by a super big opener, only occasionally, and he forces Hurt to take smaller hits and make big plays, which is especially hard to do against a player like Spargo. I don't only want to talk about Snake in this video though, as I just made a video on him. I want to talk about another one of these type of characters, R.O.B. I recently made a tweet where I said R.O.B is a very preemptive character and is forced to act first against people good at the matchup. I got good responses saying R.O.B has reactive moves like down tilt, fair and gyro, and I agree. But I do believe that R.O.B usually cannot control the situation where he fares and is usually using this move as a reaction to do the opponent's movement forward. Basically, good characters control the R.O.B players' decisions a lot. R.O.B has amazing moves in his arsenal, right? Down tilt is insane in close quarters, Nair is amazing at controlling stage, Gyro and Laser are amazing projectiles, but even with these things, I think against the better characters in this game, he can struggle in neutral. I want to mention that I might be having a little bit of Roy bias in this video, since he's an amazing character in neutral and overwhelms these two characters with his burst. But I do believe other characters can also abuse the fact that Snake and R.O.B rely on mistakes. Maybe just not as well as Roy. Okay, back to R.O.B. If you think about it, a lot of situations where R.O.B gets a down tilt on shield are because the opponent messed up pressure, or the R.O.B player made a big read, such as reading that the opponent would stay in shield. Even that situation can be reversed on the R.O.B. I heard from MK Big Boss, one of the best R.O.B players in the world, that the Japanese players always parry the second down tilt that R.O.B does on shield, heavily mitigating his pressure. Down tilt, in the end, is a much better advantage state move than a neutral move. R.O.B's other tools can be mitigated well as well. If you do not directly approach R.O.B when he has full laser, his combo starters at low percents get a lot worse. Nair only threw combos into a fair without gyro, down tilt we already discussed about, and a dash grab is hard to get without a read. It is very important to not give R.O.B reversals and grabs in the corner, as those are R.O.B's biggest reward starters at low percent. Something that people also tend to forget is that gyro shot is actually relatively unsafe on shield. Most characters are at least able to pressure a dash grab out of shield after a shielded gyro. Something that Roy has in particular is side B out of shield on gyro, making preemptive gyros very scary. Basically, what I mean is that R.O.B can be moved around on, just like Snake, and pressured very hard by some of the top tiers in the game, forcing him to make more reads, or the opponent making a mistake during pressure and capitalizing hard on that. That is why a lot of the R.O.B players love to camp, since it is easy to make a mistake against that playstyle, and capitalizing big after that is something that they have practiced. I am not making this video to say that R.O.B and Snake are bad characters, I'm just saying that their tools aren't as overwhelming as you would think. The good R.O.B and Snake players are great, because they are great at getting big advantage states from simple moves, for example, getting a 0 to death from a R.O.B dash attack. Some things that make both of these characters amazing are their advantage state. I think R.O.B most likely has a top 3 way of holding advantage with gyro-less traps, laser frame traps in advantage, and a billion ways to edgeguard the opponent. This trait already makes up for the fact that he gets out-neutraled by other top tiers. Also, he has gyro 0 to death. Snake also has Nikita, in my opinion, the most broken thing about him. Edgeguards with basically 0 commitment is an insane thing to have. Along with their advantage state, R.O.B and Snake are also insanely heavy, meaning that they will outlive most other characters. This means they are allowed to lose neutral more, and most of the time, make more mistakes. Thank you for watching, everyone. I wanted to dive deep into a topic like this, since I've been thinking about these characters a lot in the last year, and how to beat them. Hopefully the video was helpful. Be sure to check out my Twitch, where you can see me gaming and practicing. See you guys in the next video.